my name is Zach Young. I'm the owner of Festool Wood Products here in Darlington, Indiana. I'm here to talk about my Festool TS-75 track saw here. Here it is. One of the uses that you may not have thought of, or if you're thinking about buying it and you may not have seen before, is using it in place of a straight line rip saw. I'm fortunate and live in an area of the country here where there's lots of hardwood, there are lots of bandsaw mills, and I can buy good quality hardwood really cheap. This cherry, I bought it at $1.25 a board foot. I can buy walnut for about $2 a board foot. But most of it's cut on a bandsaw mill, so they just take a log and then slab it off into sections, so you need to be able to deal with that. I don't do enough volume to really justify buying a straight line rip saw, and running every board, the edge of that on the jointer, is a pain in the butt, and I just, don't really want to have to mess with that. You could do it that way, but it's just a pain. So I kind of come up with a quick and dirty way here of using my track saw here as a straight line rip saw. What I do is I initially take the wood, I run it through my planer over here and surface both sides. I generally will take it down, if I'm going to use it as 3/4 stock, I'll take it down to 4/4. Most of the lumber I buy is 5/4, and so I'll leave 1/4 of an inch. And then once I trim it to whatever size I need, then I'll run it through the planer and take it down the last 1/4 of an inch. So this is a piece of 4/4 cherry that, as you can see, it still has some bark on both sides. That needs to be trimmed down to where I can actually use it for something. So what I do is I've got a 10-foot guide rail here. This is a 3,000 millimeter guide rail. The 1900 millimeter guide rail is the one that comes with the TS-75, but I would highly recommend buying the 3000 millimeter. I'd say is really nice for breaking up sheet goods. You've got hang off on either end. It makes it a lot easier for sheet goods too. We'll take it, place it on my piece of wood here. You'll notice there's a little bit of bark here that's going to get cut off, which is good. And you just try and move it around where you kind of minimize the amount of waste. And after a while, you get really fast at this, so it's not that big a chore. It's not anywhere near as fast as a straight line rip, but I already had the saw for breaking up sheet goods, and I don't really want to spend $6,000 or $7,000 on a saw that only does one thing. So for me, the TS-75 is a great multitasker. Slide my clamps in here. There we go. We got our guide rail clamped onto the piece of wood, so it's not going anywhere. If I'm doing a big stack at once, what I'll do is I'll take two pieces that are the same thickness, set them up against one another, and the tracks have this grippy stuff on the back of them, so you don't even really need to clamp them. Since this is one board and the track isn't fully supported, I clamp it. Then you take your saw, and right now I have the panel cutting blade in it. As you can see there, it's kind of the fine-tooth one. I have the Panther rip blade, and it does a good job, but I find that the panel cutting blade, I forget what the tooth count is, but I find it does just as good a job for ripping as the actual rip blade, and it does a little smoother finish, so I just run with this one where I don't have to change blades. So let's take this. It's connected to my CT36 over here. There's the CT36 for dust collection. You make sure you set that to auto. I've got the 36 millimeter hose on here, so it really collects the dust nicely. Now you need to set your depth, which is set on this depth stop here, and this one is about 3/4, so I'm going to leave it at 25 millimeters here. And the top of this table is sacrificial, so I don't really care if it cuts into it. So now all I'm going to do is pop in my earplugs here and just run along here. There we have it. We got our waste cut off there. We have minimal dust. That's another thing I really like about this. Again, these quick grip clamps. I have some of the screw type ones, but I love these. They're a lot faster than the screw ones. things off, pop our rail off. Now we have a nice true edge on this piece of wood that I can then take over to the table saw and use this up against the fence. And so it really is a really nice, really fast way of doing that. It's something you already may have laying around the shop, so it's not like it's buying a new piece of equipment. At most you might have to buy a longer guide rail. For me, this has really been a nice thing to figure out. It's just really is handy. See, I don't really have the room to run a straight line rip saw, and I don't really do the volume. Say most of the time when I buy wood, it's between 300 and 500 board feet at a time, and I can take and run about 300 board feet through the planer and trim the edge in an afternoon, like without too much trouble, without really breaking too much of a sweat. So it's really fast. Once you get the hang of it, it goes pretty quickly, and you can also kind of grade and sort at the same time. So anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. Hope this kind of gives you some ideas. Click, comment, subscribe, and yeah, check out my channel, and I'll have some other videos up here about the domino, some more Festool stuff, and yeah, anyway, thank you for watching.